Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling, and much appreciated you guys checking today's video out. And got a good video for you guys today. We're going to be talking about how sometimes excuses are legitimate in fishing, and that you shouldn't feel bad for making excuses, and it's okay to make excuses, and you shouldn't listen to anybody try to make you feel bad about making excuses. So we're going to get into that, and by the end of the video, I think that maybe it'll probably change some people's minds on that. So anyway, guys, real quick before we get started, I just wanted to remind you all that you've heard me talk about our view product shopping chat tab on the channel. You know, YouTube got rid of that several weeks ago. They brought it back in a different format, so it's back on the channel again. So when you click on the video, you'll see a thing that says view products, and they changed it to where the products in there right now are some of the ones from my own merchandise list. So if you guys would like to check those out, click on the products. Much appreciated there. It's a good way to support the channel. Okay guys, here's the deal why I wanted to do this video. It's like every time that I talk about tournaments, a lot of times it doesn't make any difference if I finish second or second to last in the tournament. There's 95% of the guys are supportive, and they got your back and all this type of stuff. And then there's the 5% of the smart asses out there that inevitably say, Randy, I don't want to hear it. You're whining, you're complaining, you're making excuses. Suck it up or do something else. There's always that element out there. And what I'm here to talk about, guys, is how sometimes it's okay to make excuses. Do not feel bad about it, because excuses, when they are legitimate, they need to be honored. They need to be, it's a good thing to talk about that and explain to everybody why you got a legitimate excuse. So there's several different situations like that. Let me give you guys one prime example of a good excuse. Let's say, for example, you were practicing your whole tournament and you found one point that was loaded with fish, and there was one brush pile on this point, and there was 100 bass on this one brush pile, and you just know if you get down there you're going to catch them in the tournament. And then you draw out boat 100, and when you get there, there's another boat sitting on it and you can't get in there and fish. That's a legitimate excuse why you may not caught them like that. There's a lot of situations like that. When you're dealing with some type of an uncontrolled variable, excuses are okay to make. Don't feel bad about making those excuses. Now, I'll give you guys another example. I've used this before because it's a perfect illustration of what I'm talking about. I was fishing a Bassmaster Top 150 tournament on the Potomac River years ago, and I was in third or fourth place going into the last day of this tournament. And I had a really unique spot. There was a row of pilings that was only like maybe 50 feet long at the most, but there was a bunch of pilings, maybe like 30 pilings on this row. It was at the mouth of a creek, and when the tide went back and forth, these fish would replenish themselves. And I sat there all day long, and I was catching like 30 keepers a day. I never saw another boat in there. I had it completely to myself. And there was a 4-day tournament, and at the end of the third day, there come this boat idling in there watching me, and they saw me catch 3 or 4 fish off this row of pilings. And I didn't think much about it. And the next day was Saturday, the final day, and I was only, I don't know, like 6 or 7 ounces out of the lead. Thought I had a really good chance to win the tournament. And when I get there that morning, there was 3 boats sitting on that row of pilings. There was apparently some club tournament. Obviously, the dude that saw me in there was in the tournament. They were sitting right on the spot. And I went over and I said, guys, I can't tell you where to fish or not fish. I said, but I fished here for 3 days. I haven't seen anyone here. I'm ounces out of the lead of the tournament. I said, can I just have this spot? They wouldn't even look up at me. They just kept fishing. I couldn't get in there and fish. So I was back to starting from square one. And obviously, people say, oh, Randy, you shouldn't have relied on that one spot. You should have found more areas. That's not the way it works. That's a legitimate excuse why maybe you didn't have a chance to win the tournament. Now, there's other situations that may not be good excuses. Let's say, for example, you jumped off, 4 or 5 big fish in a tournament, or lost 4 or 5 big fish in one day, and you thought about it and figured it out that maybe you had the wrong size of hook on there, or maybe your hook set was wrong. Now, you can be upset about it, but that's not a good excuse, because if you had some way to change that was a controlled variable that you probably could have changed with an adjustment, then that may not be a legitimate excuse. But when you're dealing with a situation that is out of your control, where you don't have any control of that variable, it's okay to complain about it, guys. It's okay to make an excuse. And no, I'll give you guys another example about it. I was fishing a Bassmaster tournament at Lake Martin. This was 1989. And I had just won a Bassmaster tournament the week before that in Virginia. And in this tournament, the first 2 days of the tournament, I was leading the tournament. And I was fishing way up the river, flipping lay down trees and everything. And the third day of the tournament, we got like 6 inches of rain overnight. And it turned this river up there to chocolate milk. And I was done. I went up there the third day. I never caught a fish up there. And yeah, obviously I should have had a backup plan, but I did not have a backup plan. The uncontrolled variable of the rain coming in there gave it, in what in my opinion was a legitimate excuse why I didn't catch them up there. So anyway, guys, the point of what I'm saying here is, don't feel bad about venting or complaining or making an excuse, because you got to face reality of the situation, and you can't sugarcoat stuff, guys. A lot of people try to sugarcoat reality into a set of circumstances that is simply not realistic. And a lot of times, if you feel that you've been slighted or you got screwed in some way, just get it out, man. It's okay. Talk to some people about it. Bitch and moan about it a little bit. It's healthy for you to get it out, because the quicker you do that and the quicker you get it out of your system, it doesn't stay inside of you. It doesn't linger in your being there. So don't feel that you've got to suppress an emotion that you have. If you think that you've got screwed some way fishing, just share it with some people, man. Don't feel like you got to keep it to yourself, because it's not healthy. And you guys that are super sensitive about anytime somebody complains or makes an excuse, just sort of chill out a little bit, man, because it's not the way it is there. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there, guys. Again, thanks for tuning in. We'll check later. See you.